Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Reddit Raisins. Before the video start, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel to help it grow. Today's video is on /am I the bad hole? Am I the bad hole for cutting off my family over my mom's will? I always suspected my mom preferred my sister over me. Growing up, she spoiled my sister with whatever she wanted and took her word over mine whenever we argued. I was always in second place compared to her. For example, when we turned 16, I was given my aunt's old clunker that ended up dying within 6 months. When my sister turned 16, she got the brand new red Volkswagen of her dreams. Mom said that I couldn't continue my piano lessons because they were getting so expensive while still supporting my sister's dance lessons, competitions, etc. Things got really bad about a decade ago. When we were in high school, I fell in love with this guy, Joey, and started dating him for a while, only for him to dump me because he preferred my sister. Yes, my sister seduced him. This really broke me because he was my first love. Well, my sister and Joey ended up getting married after their college graduation. And that is when things went from bad to worse. Our mother had her will made and she was leaving everything to my sister. For background information, our childhood home was a 2-story building where my mother's flower shop was on the ground floor and the apartment we grew up in was the 2nd floor. While I didn't get along with my mom or sister, I loved that flower shop and had been working there for most of my life. I dreamed of owning that shop one day, but instead, my mother was going to leave the building, the shop and the apartment to my sister. While I could still work in the shop, my sister would be the owner and I would have to do what she says. There was no use in trying to convince her to change her mind. In her mind, my sister was the married one with a baby on the way. She needed the business and house to raise her family. Meanwhile, I was single and had nothing. So, I cut them off. If my mother didn't see me as a family member, then I wanted nothing to do with them anymore. It was clear who she favored more. So I moved out of my childhood home and was on my own. Less than a year later, I joined the Peace Corps and have been living abroad since. Now, to the present. After not hearing from them for years, my sister found me on social media and reached out to me. She wanted to talk to me, rekindle whatever relationship we had. I told her no, that I never wanted to talk to her or have anything to do with her or our mother again. She then starts to write this angry message about how I could do this to her and why would I turn my back on her. But as far as I'm concerned, she is not my family. She hasn't been family in a decade. My partner and our baby is family. I have a new, happier, more fulfilling life in South Africa than I ever did back in the States. I don't want to ever see my old family again because of how they treated me. I don't want them to meet my daughter. If I let them back into my life, I'm afraid they will ruin the new life I made for myself. Am I the bad hole and being too harsh? Okay, after reading through the comments, I think that Op's sister is the bad hole. She causes her first boyfriend to cheat on her by seducing him, which is totally not okay. Years after, she apparently has not apologized to Op, but wants her to kindle a relationship between them. This just feels like she has a motive for doing something like this. Also, you can't possibly blame Op for wanting to protect herself after what she has been put through by her family. Not the bad hole, not from my point of view. You found peace and love elsewhere instead of with them. No need to drag up all that toxicity again if you're in a good place. Thank you. I blocked her on all my accounts. I never want to see hide or hair of her again. You're not the bad hole actually. Good on you for having the bravery to step outside of a toxic environment. Wishing the best. I'd do the same, not the bad hole at all. And I'd be wondering what she wants from you. I doubt seriously, given the angry reaction, that it was anything innocuous or truly well-meaning. Mom's getting older, and she needs help caring for her. Or mom's too old to run the shop and they need cheap labor to run it. It sounds like it's their only income. I doubt it was a sincere each or sister would have weathered the anger. It's to be expected. Right? The sister could have responded and said that she understood and that if she wanted a relationship again she would let her reach out. Lashing out with anger makes me think she wanted something. Or mom just now died and she is in the will after all, or soon to be, and in the will, and sister needs her to sign something, so she will get it all. Not the bad hole, not the bad hole, not the bad hole, not the bad hole to the 100th power. Your mom essentially disowned you. She deserves nothing from you at all. And your sister is very much in the wrong here too. Like for allowing your mom to shower her with everything and to give you nothing, not to mention wooing your boyfriend from you and marrying him, which is an incredibly shitty thing to do to you. I can't even believe these people are so clueless and so heartless. Good for you for carving out your own life. You owe them absolutely nothing. Putting multiple vote phrases like not the bad hole or it or in a comment invalidates all votes in said comment. We get what you mean, but the poll bot basically skips over your comment. Also, agreed. Your mom is definitely an asshole. Joey is also an asshole. Regarding your sister, she then starts to write this angry message about how I could do this to her and why would I turn my back on her. Asshole. Sounds like you had a good reason to cut them off, not the bad hole. Doesn't seem like you're being too harsh. And if you change your mind, it's possible in the future to establish not the bad harlek with your sister. Never going to happen. My daughter will never ever see that woman. We don't talk about it in my family, but what can Reddit do anyway? Note, this is all secondhand from what my parents told me about it. I have terrible memory. The story begins here. I was 5, and my parents decided to adopt a child. The child they adopted was 3, and he was my best friend my whole life, and I was his. We were happy as a family, and we grew up, and I went to college, and he followed 2 years later. When I was 23, and he was 21, his real sister, who was 5 years younger than him, had CKD, and was constantly in pain, vomiting, and overall in bad shape. Apparently my bro's real parents found out where he lived and planned to basically guilt trip him into donating his kidney if he was a match. Neither of the real parents were able to donate. I went with him the first time they were meeting, and the worst part was that they didn't even get to know us or anything. They were basically like, your sister is dying, and since our child and her sister, you should donate your kidney. He was like, hell nah, and left basically, and they slammed him on Facebook and stuff until he blocked all of them. The saddest part was, after all, when the family was discussing it over dinner at some restaurant, and he was telling us how he maybe wanted to build a relationship with them, but now he was just so confused if he was doing the right thing or the wrong thing by not donating. In the end, I'm not sure what happened, because they never spoke to us again. Rat bastards. But I just know the impact they had on my brother's men at the bad hole. Health was uncalled for and honestly disgusting. Not the bad hole. If you don't feel the desire to have a relationship with these people, you should not have a relationship with these people. If you feel really generous, tell your sister, I really don't want a relationship with you, but since you want sisterly support from me, here it is. If you have more than one child, love them equally, and treat them both fairly. Bye now. I wish your comment was higher. I'm upvoting as hard as I can. I suspect she wants your kidney. Don't we all? Too true. It's a real seller's market for kidneys right now. Especially with the meat shortage in the US right now. It's so hard to find freezer trucks though, all being used for some reason. Not the bad hole, she was the golden child, and when that wasn't enough she stole your boyfriend. Family doesn't treat family like this. Your new family is your family. Yes, the sister went into a relationship with the guy, but he's equally to blame as well. He could have said no at any point. He's just as big of an ass as well. Not just as big of an ass, but an ass, yes. I don't expect a whole lot from other people. From my family, I expect them not to stab me in the back. We may fight amongst ourselves, but we don't publicly hurt and humiliate each other. I think it's the kind of baseline for a decent family. For sure. You dodged that bullet, Opus. Don't feel bad for losing him. Not the bad hole. In Japanese, there's a saying that goes, siblings are just beginning of strangers. And I know that not every sibling are like this, but I know a lot that are. Especially after your mother died. It might sound harsh to others, but I don't see how you owe your sister anything. TBH, if I were you, I wouldn't have even gone to their wedding, haha. But I guess to go is just common courtesy. However, this anger that's built up over the years can't just simply disappear. You do what makes you happy. Your sister and mother obviously did what made them happy. You don't owe them anything. I would have, and I definitely would have had the courtesy to point it out on Mick during the wedding, that's how they met. SKSKKSKKSK, where were you at the wedding XD? Not the bad hole. You spent your life with your mother and sister putting themselves first. Even in reaching out to you, your sister put herself and her happiness before yours. There was no olive branch offered, no remorse shown for her attitude or approach to your relationship in the past. It was just, how can you do this to me? She even made this about her. If you're happy with your life now, what reason did she give you that you should threaten that happiness for her own? Also, just wondering, you mention your mother's well-being, what finally pushed you to cut them out of your life, but just that she had written it. Are your parents still alive? And have they made any attempt to reach out to you? Came back to upvote this because yeah, the sister made it all about her and never thought, hey, maybe I'm a toxic sludge puddle. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe if wish to continue watching my content. I have a playlist full of videos like this. Link is in the description below. See you tomorrow. Take care and stay safe.